Good morning. I'm Gregory Mason. Welcome to First Presbyterian Church for Olympia Brown Unitarian Universalist Church's service. We're going to start some announcements with Suzanne.
Good morning. Today is the first day for members to vote to either stay and renovate the property at 625 College Avenue or go and buy, build, lease, or share a different property. I will be at the voting table in Erman Hall following the service with ballots, envelopes, pens, and a lockbox to put your sealed ballot in. You may vote in person next Sunday after church as well. For those who will not be at church on either Sunday, you may email or call the office and request that a ballot be emailed to you, which you can print up and return to 625 College Avenue by mail, or put it in the mail slot at the same address. You can also vote by calling the office, giving your name, and telling Brenda how to mark a ballot for you. That will then be put in an envelope and sealed and put in the lockbox. Voting will end next Sunday, November 17th at 2 o'clock. Ballots will be certified and counted on Monday, November 18th by Brenda and by Mary Graham. You will be given the results on Tuesday, November 19th. Pardon? Yes, they have to be, you have to be members to vote, but I think you all know that. All right. Now I have a second announcement. Pat Badger emailed me this week and has invited us, OBUUC, to partner with First Presbyterian to bake cookies for a Music and More fundraiser taking place at a special Music and More candlelight concert on December 14th. Homemade boxed cookies will be for sale for $10 before and after the concert, with the proceeds going to Music and More youth scholarships. The cookies will be boxed by a crew on Thursday morning, December 12th. They are looking for cookie bakers. There will be more detailed information available during coffee hour today and next week. I know that many of you have a great appreciation for Music and More concerts and for their support of community organizations. So this is our chance to help. Please see Ruth Bradford Johnson for an information flyer and a sign-up sheet. Thank you.
It's time for the annual November birthday luncheon. Anyone whose birthday is in November is invited to come to a buy your own lunch at the Asian Buffet restaurant in Elmwood Plaza at 11 a.m. this Wednesday. It is not necessary to make a reservation to show up. If your birthday is in some other month, but you want to help us celebrate, you too are welcome. If you have any questions, please contact Andrea Bumpers or Diana Pavao. And I have a 10% off coupon if someone would like it. The next deadline for paper raise right orders is next Sunday. See me if you need a form. If you need to reference the monthly email, the Unifier email, there is a link in each Sunday's email that will take you to them. The Children and Youth Christmas Pageant will be held on December 22nd during the 11 a.m. service. There are speaking and non-speaking parts. Sign up is December 1st. You can do that during RE or email to Leanne. Bring your Love Pantry donations to church on Sunday mornings. Our middle and high school youth will use them to fill the pantry on the first Sunday of the month. And for those who aren't aware, we do print large print orders of service. So they're on an 8.5 by 11 sheet. If you need that, they are available. For more information and details about some of these announcements, along with others and community announcements, see your monthly email. The deadline to submit news for the December Unifier is November 25th. I'd like to thank our volunteers today, our ushers, Christina say it in my head, Mondragon. And that was thank you to Jerry Patak, pointing out that I always said it wrong, and Pam Smiley, and we had a special helper with Wendy McKelvey. Our Zoom host, Patty Riemann, and our coffee hour hosts, Maria Scott and Chris Gasick. Also, there is a Welsh hymn sing-along this afternoon here at First Pres at 2:30. There's a flyer over there for all the details if you're interested. Please stay for coffee hour following the service. For those on YouTube, log into Zoom after the service for your coffee hour. The link is in today's email.
Good morning. I am Lisa Scott Patak, and I welcome you to Olympia Brown Unitarian Universalist Church. Welcome to everyone here in person. Welcome to everyone joining us on YouTube. It is good to be together. Whether you come here full of joy or whether your heart is heavy, you are welcome here. We welcome your broken hearts, your troubled minds, and fractured dreams. We embrace you, and we welcome you here into this sacred space. However you experience or express gender is welcome here. Who you love, how you love, is welcome and celebrated here. Where you are from and where you are in your journey is welcome here. You are a part of a beloved community that is sacred because each of us is sacred. Each of us is held always in a larger love. Welcome.
I'm Darren. Hi, just in case you didn't know. Our chalice lighter this morning is Ellie. These words come from Starhawk. We are all longing to go home, to some place we have never been, a place half remembered and half envisioned we can only catch glimpses of from time to time. Community. Somewhere there are people to whom we can speak with passion without having the words catch in our throats. Somewhere a circle of hands will open to receive us. Eyes will light up as we enter. Voices will celebrate with us whenever we come into our own power. Community means strength that joins our strength to do the work that needs to be done. Arms to hold us when we falter. A circle of healing. A circle of friends. Someplace where we can be free. I guess I announced the hymn, right? I'll catch on eventually. The first hymn is My Life Flows On, an Endless Song. It's in 108 in the gray hymnal.
And now it's time for the message for all ages. So if all the children and those young at heart can come on forward. So this story is about a woman, a young lady, that went to the airport to go on a flight. And when she was at the airport, she bought herself a bag of cookies, like a lot of people do when you go to airports, you always buy snacks. So she bought herself a bag of cookies, and she was going to eat her cookies while she waited at the gate at the airport. So she walked up to the gate and sat down and got her book out, and a young man sat next to her. And so she started reading her book, And then she leaned over and took a cookie out of her bag. And then the young man reached over and took a cookie out of the bag. And she was like, they didn't say anything. She just sat there like, how could he do that? That is so rude. And so she took another cookie, and he took another cookie. And that kept happening. Every time she took a cookie, he took a cookie. And she was getting so angry. It was so obvious that she was really, really angry. And he kept on taking cookies. And then it got to the last cookie in the bag, and he took the last cookie and broke it in half and left it there for her. And she couldn't stand it now. She was like, oh my gosh. She's like, inside, she couldn't stand it. She took her stuff, and she got up, and she went to a different seat. And she sat in her seat, and she waited until the plane. She had to go on the plane. So the number was called. She put the stewardess her boarding pass. She went on the plane. She sat down on her seat, and she was going to get her stuff out of her bag to get ready to settle into her seat. And she opened her bag, and there was her bag of cookies, unopened and untouched. She had been eating the man's cookies. And he never even said anything. He was so kind. He never got angry. He never got up and left. And he was just incredibly kind. So the thing I like about this story is that this man chose kindness. You can always choose to be kind. He didn't get angry. He could have yelled. He could have snatched his bag of cookies away, and that would have made the lady more upset, but he didn't. So this story reminds us that in situations, we can either get angry or we can be kind. The choice is always ours, even if someone is stealing your cookies. All right, time for the children's blessing. We are blessed. We are blessed by being. We are blessed by being here. We are blessed by being here together.
This church is supported by your generous gifts of time, of commitment, of your work, and of your treasure. Each month we share the money we gather with a local organization that is doing good work in our community. How do we do that? Well, the money that is collected in our plate is split between our church and the organization. You can write a check to them or to OBUUC with the words Offertory Outreach on the memo line. This month, our partner is Sustaining Our Leaders. Here to tell us about this organization is Pastor Darren.
It's me again. I was supposed to be here last week to do this for you, but I forgot. I was already supposed to be here this time, so. Sustaining Our Leaders is an organization that it's a little over a year old. If some of you may have heard of the Joshua Glover Justice Fund, which is a bail fund. So Sustaining Our Leaders kind of came over the top of Joshua Glover Justice Fund so that we would have a bail fund and also be able to do other social justice, criminal legal system work in the community. So right now, Sustaining Our Leaders still has the Joshua Glover Justice Fund. So anything you give to Sustaining Our Leaders, part of it will go to the Joshua Glover Justice Fund. The other thing that we are doing in the community right now is something called a participatory defense hub. Participatory, ooh. I've been saying that word a lot, and this is about the second time I've got it right. But anyway, so we have a participatory defense hub, which meets at the library from 5 to 7 every Monday. And what that group does, it is a group that is made up of directly impacted people, other folks from the community who work with anyone who has been involved in the criminal legal system. So if someone's been arrested, and say they're in jail, but their loved one wants to help them figure out what to do with their case, they can come to the library or give us a call, and we use the experience of the people in the room to help the loved one or the person to figure out how best to navigate the legal system. So that's been going on since January of this year, and it's going well. We're getting our feet underneath us. So that's another piece of Sustaining Our Leaders Fund and I just wanted to just tell you kind of how important, especially like the bail fund work. National statistics, this maybe is from 2020, so a little bit older, but about 83% of people who are in jails, so not in prison, but in jails, about 83% of them are pre-trial, so they are presumed innocent. They haven't been convicted of anything yet, so 83% of people in jails are just waiting for their trial. And a lot of them are there because they don't have the money to pay bail. And not that I like to distinguish between violent offenders and nonviolent offenders, but to kind of bring this home, in 2019 in Racine County, there were 1,358 arrests. 4% of them would be what you consider violent offenses. So if you think of those 1,358 people, 83% of them are in jail, probably on a drug charge or some kind of smaller thing that they were caught for. So having help with bail through the bail fund helps people to get back out in the community, which helps them keep their job, keep their house, take care of family members, whatever they do. It's important work. So thank you so much for having Sustaining Our Leaders as a partner this month, and sorry it took me a week to come and talk to you about it.
In this community, in this co-created sacred space, we share the joys and the sorrows that are on our hearts with one another, knowing that it will be held in love and compassion. We invite you to come forward now to share your joy or sorrow with us at the mic or silently and just light a candle. Please remember that your words will be carried into the community through YouTube. You are invited to come forward at this time.
I have a joy that the Spencer family is welcoming a new baby. My granddaughter had a child, so we're great-grandparents. And I have a concern because there's an election in 11 days on primary on November 21st, regular on December 19th for county exec. And my concern is that it's going to be low participation, so I want you all to be aware of it and look into your candidates. Thank you.
My overriding concern has me wearing black in profound mourning, and pearls not to clutch, but to spark recognition of alliance and safety for others.
I ask that you light a candle for me. My heart is heavy as we enter into a vote on the future of this church, divided. You've heard my position, and I want to hear more from those of you who see things differently. I invite you to come speak with me today and throughout the week. Thank you.
Morning. It's taking me a little bit longer to get up here than usual. So I wanted to express a joy that this fall into winter, I get to see all three of my family members performing on stage at different theater productions. I've got my son is in a Pinocchio show, my daughter's in a theater camp where she plays Sleeping Beauty, and my husband is in the Christmas show at the Theater Guild. And I am not at all interested in being up on the stage even a little bit, but I'm really good at being in the audience. I turn my phone off, I clap, you know, it's important. But it's such a joy to be able to see them doing the things that they love and be able to support that. And also, historically, the theater family has been one of those moments of support for people who maybe express gender differently or in different kinds of relationships or just kind of exist a little bit outside of the norms of society. And so it's a lovely little community of people to feel welcomed by. So I'm joyful for that too.
Hi, I'm Maria Scott, and yesterday, Diane Lang organized a Zoom meeting, and it was great. I thought it was a wonderful meeting to hear from everybody, and I learned so much, and I really appreciate it. Diane, she's not here, is she? You were fantastic. She did a great job.
Boy, we had a lot of joys and sorrows. But there's room to light one more. We light one final candle for the joys and the sorrows that remain unspoken in our hearts, and for those that are on the hearts of our beloveds joining us online. Please join us in singing, "There is a love holding me, there is a love holding us."
I have a reading, probably going to have a few different readings, but this is the one I knew about before the bulletin was printed. This is called "Let Us Learn Peace" by Annie Forster. Peace is more than the absence of discordance. It is the intent listening to diverse points of view. It is the intentional speaking of all voices, one at a time. It is the tension within silence that welcomes all thoughts. Peace is more than the absence of tension. It is studying the hard lesson of letting go. It is breathing through pain into tranquility. It is forming friendship out of enmity. So you all probably know that the theme for the month is repair. And, sometimes you start out with an idea and lots of things happen along the way. So I'm going to say some things that I intended to say earlier this week, and probably some things that came to me later on in the week. They're somewhat similar to each other. But when it comes to repair, I do think of peace and justice. And peace, as the reading suggested, and as maybe I'll do another reading, there is a few different types of peace. One of the ones that we often think of is just a peace of mind, or a calm, or, let everything be tranquil, which is not bad. I like it. I like it when everything can be tranquil. But unfortunately, we have to find little spaces to be at peace in that sense. But then we have to return to a world that is not tranquil, a world that sometimes doesn't love us, a world that doesn't want our peace. As Martin Luther King Jr. called this, sometimes the world wants us to have an obnoxious peace. It's the kind of peace that says, whatever you're going through, just sit quietly over there. Segregation, injustice, whatever oppression you're dealing with, just if you bear it quietly, maybe every once in a while send a letter to the right people, I'm sure in time it'll all be okay. Obnoxious peace is not the kind of peace that we want. I think all of us gathered here gather because there are universalists, right? There are universal understandings that we have about what it means to be human, what it means to show respect to humankind and all of creation, what it means to be people of love and justice in the world. We come here because we get reminded of the bigger picture. We get reminded of the possibility of a peace that includes all of us, a peace that embraces all of us. And we gather here to get the strength, remembering what we value, to be people who won't settle for an obnoxious peace. We gather here because our values are bigger than our nation. Our values are bigger than the way people vote. Our values are universal. They span all of creation. I just want to read this little bit about just peace from Martin Luther King Jr. He says, it's true, if black people were to accept their place, accept exploitation and injustice, there will be peace. But it would be an obnoxious peace. It would be a peace that boiled down to stagnant complacency, deadening passivity, and if that is peace, I don't want peace. If peace means accepting second-class citizenship, I don't want it. If peace means keeping my mouth shut in the midst of injustice and evil, I don't want it. If peace means being complicitly adjusted to a deadening status quo, I don't want peace. If peace means a willingness to be exploited economically, dominated politically, humiliated, and segregated, I don't want peace. In a passive, nonviolent manner, we must revolt against this peace, he said. We come to this Sunday, and I assume many of you, I won't make any other claims, I'll just assume that you are in a place of anxiety, maybe in a place of fear, maybe in a place of dread and frustration. I'll tell you that I was going to be in a place of kind of rage generally, either way, but that's just me, But But again, we always are in a place where we need to speak up. You all, the ones that I know and the ones that I assume things about because I, know the other ones and read your views and stuff. You are people committed. No matter what's flip-flapping around out there in your nation, to another kind of peace, another kind of justice that will speak up for those who are oppressed, speak up for those who are excluded, wrap your arms around those who are afraid. This is the time we're in right now, a time of a bold peace, a bold showing of the love and justice that we want to see in the world. In a way, nothing has changed when it comes to the values that we all share. In a way, nothing has changed in what our purpose was and is and will be. The work that's set out for us to do is the same. The love that we intend to show to one and all, it's the same. So here we are. Hold it. The intention, the love that brought you to this place, the holding on to the intention of including everyone, of embracing everyone, of loving, showing kindness, speaking up, all of those things that keeps you coming here, that keeps you calling the people in this room, that keeps you doing the work that you do. Look around. You have allies, you have friends, you have people committed to community and to love. I didn't get to the justice part. We'll do that next time, but I'm assuming that we're getting close, We can talk more at the coffee time even, if it comes to that. I don't remember what the song is, but it's in here. 10:17, we're building a new way. It's in the little one, I think. Teal. I'll get us a song leader next time. I think you're volunteering. Is that what that? Oh. Did I turn this again? As we extinguish this, I feel really tall. We extinguish this candle. Know that this flame